Good morning, students. So we were doing banking companies, and as of now, we have completed each and every aspect of this company, right? What type of problems come in your past examination? It will be of sums on rebate on bill discounted calculation, then income recognition, then provision calculation. In that provision calculation, we have seen that if it is ECGC covered and DICGC covered, then how you are going to calculate provision. And then we have learned how to prepare profit and loss account, right? And last session we had done capital adequacy ratio, and this thing we have capital adequacy ratio, and then we have done contingent liability account of balance sheet items, how to calculate acceptance, endorsement, and other obligation, and bill for collection, right? So this is what we have done. So we are left with only banking company's balance sheet, right? So basically, I had told you in my initial classes that here the banking company's balance sheet is prepared in a hybrid marshalling. Now, what is this hybrid marshalling? It means the liability side is prepared on the basis of permanence, and the asset side is prepared on the basis of liquidity, right? So today we will do few problems of balance sheet. The balance sheet format you can find it out in any books, and we will also do it when we do the problem, right? So before that, we'll be discussing a part of the balance sheet, and then we'll go into the full-fledged balance sheet problem, and then PL and balance sheet full-fledged, right? So question number 24, this is very important. This question has come in your past examination. How will you disclose the following ledger balance in the final account of bank, right? They have given us current account, savings account, FD, cash credit, loan, bills, discounted and purchase. Now, current account, savings account, fixed deposit. So these are type of deposits. So it will come on the liability side. It's a liability. Accepting deposits from public is a liability for the bank. And cash credit, term loan, bill, discounted and purchase is basically loans and advances, right? So for the balance sheet of banking company, right, for the purpose of balance sheet of right, I'll give you few rules, right? Rules in the sense easy way of memorizing. Can Ramu Dhobi buy oranges, right? The word C, R, D, B, O. So C stands for capital, R stands for reserve and surplus, Dhobi stands for deposits, B stands for borrowings, O stands for other liabilities, right? So this is basically the liability side, and when you see the liability side, it is on the basis of permanence, right? So this becomes very easy for us. If you remember this code, then you can easily remember the format of the balance sheet. And I have told you that in balance sheet we have 12 schedules. So this is schedule 1, schedule 2, schedule 3, schedule 4, schedule 5, right? asset side, CBI uh, fast organization. CBI fast organization. So C stands for cash and balance with RBI. B stands for balance with other bank and money at call and short notice. This is MCSN. I stands for investments. A stands for advances. F stands for fixed assets. O stands for other assets. Now you can easily see that this is prepared. This is the asset side, and basically this is prepared on the basis of liquidity, right? This is prepared on the basis of liquidity. So this is basically schedule 6, schedule 7, schedule 8, schedule 9, schedule 10, schedule 11. Is that fine? I think it's very clear. So this is the liability side on the basis of permanence. And this is the asset side on the basis of liquidity. In our foundation classes, we might have learned the marshalling part, right? And in plus 2 also. So basically they told permanence and liquidity because the banking company is following hybrid. Now in the given problem 24, they have given details of this deposit, that is schedule 3 and advances schedule 9. So they are just asking you the part of it. They have not told you to do the full-fledged problem. They are just ask you the part of it, right? Now, so what we'll be doing, I will be preparing these two schedules, right? So solution. Is that fine? Now, so they have given us current savings deposits, fixed deposit. These are all will come under deposit. Cash credit, term loan, bill purchase and discounted. This will come under advances. Now current account, ledger are included in the current account, means the deposit section. Overdraft is included. Now usually what happens, this is a bank, right? Current account. So this is deposits. And you give customer to overdraft on their account. So that is advances. So what we do, so basically in our books, in organizations book, entities book, I'm not talking bank, in entities book, this is bank balance and this is bank OD. So at times we do set off, na. So similarly bank also does this set off part. What bank does, bank says fine, current account ledger, we have deposit, net, overdraft, so we get net deposit. But actually this is wrong. These two cannot be shown as net. This netting off is not allowed. Right? So this netting off is not allowed at all. Is that fine? So you have a deposit, that is your liability, and if you have allowed someone to overdraft, that is your asset. So this has to be shown under schedule 3. This has to be shown under schedule 9. You just can't net it off, because you need to show the different positions, right? Now what they are telling, they have made it very clear that included in the current account ledger, accounts overdrawn, so they have done the classification wrong. By mistake they have included it in the current account ledger, right? So when I prepare schedule 3, that is basically deposit section, right? $700 minus 250. It has been wrongly included in current account. That I have told that netting off is not allowed, but here they have not net off, they have simply added the balance. So this current account deposit will be shown separately under schedule 3 liability, and this overdraft given to customer will be shown separately under advances in asset side. In the given problem what they have said, they have not net off, they have simply saying included in the current account overdraft 250. So I will exclude it. Savings account I will take full 500, and then fixed deposits I will take 700. So this is the total of it. 1650. I guess this is absolutely fine with all of you. Now this advances part can be prepared in various ways. It can be prepared on the basis of nature, it can be prepared on the basis of security, right? So here first of all I will do it on the basis of nature of loan. One is cash credit, term loan, and then bill discounted and purchased, right? And further they have also told in point number 3 the nature of security as well, right? So what I will do, I'll prepare right. So when you take cash credit you need to add 250, right? When you take cash credit आपको 250 है क्योंकि आपने current account से वहां पे you have eliminated that, right? So when you take cash credit 600 is given, so you are going to add, by mistake it was wrongly classified under the current account, right? But here we are going to include it in this advance section. So 600 is already cash credit given, I will add 250 to that, so that comes to, so when I take, so I'm doing in part A, that is on the basis of nature. So I'll take right, and then we have term loan. Then we have bill discounted and purchased, right? Now point number 2 is about provision. One of the cash credit account of 10 lakhs, one of the cash credit account of 10 lakhs including interest is doubtful. So first of all, if it is in doubtful category, then interest will be recognized on cash basis, not on accrual basis, right? So when you calculate income, so you are not going to take, because it is non-performing asset category, so I'm not going to include this interest income in my profit and loss account. I'm not going to report that. Secondly, when I create a provision on doubtful, right? Now they have not yet mentioned one of the cash credit is doubtful, so I'm assuming that entire is unsecured. So on unsecured doubtful you create 100% provision or whatever be the case. So simply I'll tell that while preparing PL, this interest to be interest income of 1 lakh to be deducted from schedule 13, that is interest earned, because it is now non-performing, so non-performing only cash basis. for the provision on 10 lakhs will be created. If it is secured, then we have to see 0 to 1, 1 to 3 or more than 3, like that. So point number 2 has got no relevance when I am doing this, when I am preparing this balance sheet, right? It has the effect in PL. So 1 lakh interest will be deducted from interest earned, because non-performing is shown on cash basis, not on accrual basis. And further on 10 lakhs we need to create provision. Anyway, so this is coming 2150. Right? Now I'll do it on the basis of security. Is that fine? Now this is on the basis of nature of loan and this is on the basis of security. Now 60% of term loan is secured by government security, government guarantee. So term loan is 500. So 500 into 60%. And 20% of cash credit is unsecured. Now cash credit is 850, remember. 850 into 20%. So that comes to 170 is unsecured. Other portion is secured by tangible asset. So what is other portion? Other portion is cash credit 80%, term loan 20%, and bill purchased and discounted. So this is balancing figure, right? Other portion of other loan, right? So total is 2150. So this balancing figure will be 2150 minus 300 minus 170. Right? So this is how we are going to prepare schedule 9. Right? So I have told you that with respect to a customer, if you have deposits and you have allowed to overdraft to that same customer, a customer, you cannot just net off. Further, in the given problem, they have not done the net off. What they are telling, in current account, this overdraft is included. It is not adjusted. If they would have told the word adjusted, it means from this figure it has been deducted. But included means simply it has been classified wrong. So what I am going to do, if it is included, I'll exclude it and I'll put it in appropriate head. Right? So this was very simple deposits. Now advances they have given on the basis of nature. 600 maybe we will add to the 250 part, right? And then we have this term loan, and then bill purchased and discounted. So the total loan is 2150. Right? Now on the basis of security. So they have told by government, this is the way, this is the format. You have to find out secured by tangible assets, secured by bank oblique government guarantee, unsecured. So bank guarantee they have told term loan 60%. So remaining 40% might be either secured by tangible asset or might be unsecured. Right? Unsecured they have told 20% of cash credit. Right? So remaining portion of term loan, remaining portion of cash credit and bill purchase and discounted, all these are secured by tangible asset. They have clearly told us. Right? If I have to find out it, I will do term loan 40%. I will take cash credit 80%, and I will take bill discounted full, because with respect to that nothing has been mentioned. So this is 200, this is 680, and this is 800. So I got 1680. Term loan 60% is secured by bank guarantee. So remaining 40% has to be secured by tangible asset. Cash credit 20% is unsecured. So remaining 80% has to be secured. And bill purchase and discounted. Because other portion, so other portion means whatever they have said, apart from that whatever is there, that is secured by tangible asset. I guess it is very clear, right? If you do one or two more problems, then the things will become automatically very smooth, right? Okay. So now we will do problem number 25. This is very important for exam, right? So let us read problem number 25. Read number 25, just give a reading to that. Now, from the following information, prepare balance sheet of Anubhav Bank Limited as on 31st March giving the relevant schedule. Current account, okay, fine, it will come under deposit. Then we have cash credit, advances, cash in and balance with cash. This is cash and balance with RBI. Money at call, right? It will come under asset. Gold asset, government securities asset. Premises, furniture, these are all fixed asset. Term loan is advances. Then share capital, they have given capital. Statutory reserve is reserve and surplus. Net profit before appropriation is reserve and surplus. Profit and loss is reserve and surplus. Fixed deposits, savings deposits, current account. Now debit you had current. In debit you had current means this is overdraft. and credit also you are having current, that is deposit. Bills payable is 0.1 and bank borrowing from other bank is 110. Is that fine? So this is very simple problem, right? We will be doing it. First of all, we will be preparing the entire balance sheet format. Further, they have given us additional information, right? Additional information they have given us: bill for collection, advances and endorsement, claims against the bank not acknowledged as debt. So these are basically contingent liabilities, right? So you have to show this is off balance sheet item, contingencies, right, which will depend upon uncertain future event. It can be both favorable and unfavorable. Then they have given depreciation charge, not required right now. Okay. 50% of the term loan are secured by government guarantees. 10% of the cash creditor is unsecured, and also calculate. So remaining has to be secured by tangible asset if nothing is mentioned. They had told us to also calculate cash reserve required and statutory liquidity reserve required. Fine. So this is a mixed problem, right? Generally you can get a separate problem for cash reserve ratio. This is the balance with which you have to maintain with RBI, and statutory liquidity ratio. So first of all, let us prepare the balance sheet format, right? So balance sheet as on 31st March of a banking company, right? So A Bank Limited, balance sheet as on 31st March. Right? We will write rupees in lakhs. Okay. So we have first of all heading capital and liabilities. So we have share capital, then we have reserve and surplus, then we have deposits, then we have borrowings, and then we have other liability and provisions. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So leave some space for the asset side, right? And then I'll prepare so we have 19.80 lakh shares of rupees 10 each fully paid. So that comes to 198 right? Only the credit, when you are preparing the liability side, you need to see the credit side. When you are preparing the liability side, you need to see the credit side. That we know. When you prepare balance sheet, so you need to pick up items from liability side. Balance sheet liability side, you need to pick up item from credit side of trial balance. So we have got this 198. Next we have reserve and surplus. Already we have statutory reserve. That is 231. Leave some space. I will write PL account. Right? Add net profit before appropriation. Right? So we are going to get 562 less. Now we know that in appropriation side we have to transfer to statutory reserve, and that's a mandatory transfer. Mandatorily you have to transfer it to statutory reserve. 25% of current year's profit. So I have to transfer 25% of 150. Right? So that is coming to 37.50. So here I have to add transfer 37.50. Now there is no other appropriation. You can just have a look. There is no other appropriation. Right? So this thing you have to keep in mind. That if they say you net profit, you have to do this appropriation part, because this is mandatory transfer. This is a mandatory transfer. You have to do it. Right? So this is 268.50, and this one I'm going to have Is that fine? right? So this part is very important. If someone misses this part, still your reserve and surplus will be 793. Right? Is that fine? So there would not be any effect in the balance sheet total, but you will be deducted certain marks for this, for not showing this treatment. Right? Next up we have deposits. That's very easy. Right? Right? So you have current account credit 520. The current account which is there in asset side, that is overdraft, but we are talking about current account credit. We are talking about the liability part. 520.12. Then we have savings. $450, and then we have fixed deposit account, that is 517. There is no such wrong classification or netting of here, so simply I'll take the total of it. 520.12 plus 450 plus 517, 1541 point, sorry, 520.12 plus 450 plus 517, 1487.12. Right? Then we have borrowings. You have borrowing from other banks. For that you need to have a very good relationship with the banking companies, other banking companies. 110. Last but not the least, you have schedule 5, other liabilities and provisions. Right? So in that, see, rest all items of credit side you have taken. You have taken share capital, you have taken statutory reserve, you have taken net profit before appropriation, PL, FD, savings, current, borrowing. So the only left part is bills payable. 0.10. right? So it is 0.10. Getting my point? So this is deposit is 1487.12. This is 110 and this is 0.10. So just take the total of it. 198 plus 793 plus 1487.12 plus 110 plus 0.1. So that is 2588.22. 2588.22. Right? So the liability side has been prepared successfully. Right? So now we are going to focus on asset. We have cash and balance with RBI. We have balance with bank and MCSN. Then we have investments. Then we have advances. Then we have fixed assets. And then we have other assets. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is the total. And don't forget, we have off balance sheet item, that is contingent liabilities, contingencies, schedule 12. Right? Now, in the given problem, they have told us to check. They have told us to calculate cash reserve required and statutory liquid reserve required. Now, cash reserve ratio you have to maintain with RBI. So you are going to show the transfer as well for maintaining that cash reserve ratio. Right? However, with respect to SLR, SLR is funds available with you. For that, you don't have to transfer. You have to simply show whether it is maintained or not. Cash reserve ratio you have to maintain with RBI. So that is why you have to transfer from one account to another account. But in case of statutory liquidity, you don't have to transfer because that is the balance you maintain with yourselves. If someone tells me that you have to maintain this much balance with me, then only I will guarantee you. RBI says that only. That is why we are supposed to maintain cash reserve ratio. So if there is a shortfall, so you have to maintain that balance with RBI. So that is why from normal cash balance or balance with other bank, you have to transfer funds to balance with RBI. Right? Let us start now. So what we'll be doing, we'll be preparing first schedule 6. Cash and balance with RBI. Now listen, you have cash balance, right? rupees in lakhs. Cash in hand. Then cash with RBI. We have 160.15 and this is 37.88, right? Now physically you don't have to transfer this money to RBI. You maintain one account, on that you transfer, right? A separate box is kept, on that you transfer. RBI officers might come and they might inspect. Anyway, so some adjustment has to be done, that is why I have kept these two in inner column. Now, then schedule 7, that is balance with other bank. So cash with other bank, they are telling $155.87 and money at call will come here. How much? 210.12. Right? Then we have schedule 8. We have investment in gold and government security both. 8 is investment. Investment in gold is how much? $55.23 and government securities investment is 110.17. Now remaining three schedules, that is advances, fixed asset and other asset, that is not in liquid form. So these are the 6 assets which we have in liquid form. Remaining that advances, because statutory liquidity means you have to maintain with yourself, and loans and advances means you have given it to the customer. Fixed asset means that is not liquid. Another asset is, this is also not liquid, right? So these are the assets which you had in liquid form, right? Now, so I'll just take the total of this, schedule 8. Okay, I'll do it later. Okay. Right? Now, note number 1, this is note number 1, right? First note I am preparing. What is my total deposit? Schedule 3, that is 1487.12. I told you that when we are recording the video it is 4 and 19%, but in question they have told 3 and 30, so we are going to use that. CRR required, cash reserve ratio required, 1487.12 into 3%. So it is 1487.12 into 3%. This is 44.61. So this is the balance that you have to maintain. This is the balance that you have to maintain this balance with RBI. Right? So if I have to maintain this balance with RBI, so I have to transfer and this is which you have to mandatorily maintain. No bank will try to manipulate this or try to hide this that we are not maintaining. So 6.73 must be transferred from somewhere. So you have balance with other bank and you have balance in hand also. So you can take from either of these two places. This you have to transfer. In order to maintain 44.61, you have to transfer 6.73. So either you can do it from cash in hand or you can do it from cash with other banks. You have to ask. So I'll do it from here. Minus transfer to current account with RBI. Basically account with RBI. 6.73. So that is 155.87 minus 6.73. So it is coming to 149.14. This is very important. Right? So in short I can say that cash I can take directly to outer column. Right? So we need to have the total of these three. SLR is only an instrument to check. You cannot help anything. So if you are running with your statutory liquidity, in that case you need to do borrowings from RBI, right? Or borrowing from any other bank. So 160.15 plus 44.61. So it is 204.76. 149.14 plus 210.12. It is 359.26. 55.23 plus 110.17. 165.40. Right? So what I will do, I have to just check whether SLR is maintained or not. So this is the total which I have got. Schedule 678. 204.76. So right now CRR is maintained. I have taken balance from other bank and transferred it to RBI, right? So I'll just put it. $204.76. Then we have 359.26. 165.40. SLR you don't have to maintain because that is the balance with you only, right? With the bank only. So they need to check whether we are maintaining the statutory liquidity and accordingly the lending has been done or not, right? Many banks, they do excessive lending and they run short of cash. So if a customer who has deposited money into your bank, when they come for withdrawal, so you deny them, right? And then the question of because the customers, they get panic now once they go to the bank and they themselves cannot get their money back, right? So note 2, SLR required, 30% of 1487.12, that is rupees 1487.12 into 30%, so it is 446.14. So this much bank has to maintain in liquid form. To be very short, schedule 6, 7 and 8. So this much, okay. So what is cash? 155.12. Sorry. Cash is 160.15. Cash with RBI cannot be taken in statute because that is a balance you are maintaining with RBI. Cash with other bank, because some has been transferred to CRR. So cash with other bank, you are going to take how much? 149.14. Right? 149.14. Then money at call is also liquid. How much money at call and short notice? 210.12. Then we have gold, right? 55.23. Then we have government security. These are very liquid. You can easily sell it in the market. 110.17. So what is the total liquid assets? So this is 160.15, right? 160.15 plus 149.14 plus 210.12 plus 55.23 plus 110.17. So this is 684.81, right? So therefore the bank has maintained SLR. Therefore the bank is maintaining liquidity. As in normal business, we used to calculate current ratio. So here we have statutory liquidity ratio for bank. They cannot lend the 100% of deposit, right? That I have told you in my first class. So this 446.14 bank has to maintain in liquid form, right? So if they are falling short of it, so they will arrange short-term borrowings or whatever. They will try to increase this cash balance, right? Or they will tell the owners to do owner funding, right? So in last class I taught you capital adequacy ratio. In that, if you are falling short, so either you have to reduce the risk-weighted assets, or you have to simply introduce more funds from the owner, right? So same is the case here. So this is just it will have no effect in balance sheet. We have to simply check, only check, and CRR you have to show the treatment. right? Is that fine? So now we are going to prepare schedule 9. Right, schedule 9 we have current account, right? That is 28. Then we have cash credit 812.10, and last but not the least we have term loan 792.88. So this is one way of doing it. 28 plus 812.1 plus 792.88, so 1632.98. And then we have number B on the basis of security. So that right now we do it secured by tangible asset, secured by bank oblique government guarantee, and finally we have unsecured. 10% of cash credit is unsecured. Okay. So cash credit 10% is unsecured. Just do it. So cash credit is how much? Now when they say cash credit, so you have to take this two into also account, because both are same thing. They are bank OD and cash credit is put into the same category. So 28 plus 812.10, right? In balance sheet also you can show under the same head. You can do it in brackets, that is 28 plus 812.10. So that comes to 840.10 into 10%. So 840 into 10% is unsecured. So that is 84.01, right? And then they are saying 50% of term loan by government guarantee. So 792.88 into 50%. 792.88 into 50%, that is 396.44. So difference is basically secured by tangible asset. Balancing figure, that is 1632.98 minus 84.01 minus 396.44. So that comes to 1152.53. Right. So this schedule, you can get a separate question for this schedule 9, right? So this current account is basically overdraft. So overdraft and cash credit is under one group. Right? So this we have done in last problem. Unsecured is cash creditors 10% and terms loans 50% is secured by government guarantee. So remaining has to be secured by tangible asset. So it is 1632.98. So basically it will be 1632.98. And fixed asset, we have two fixed asset, that is premises and furniture. So it is like 155.70 plus 70.12, 225.82. So 2588.22. So just 204.76 plus 359.26 plus 165.4 plus 1632.98 plus 225.82. So 2588.22. Right? If we want, we can prepare this fixed asset. Yes, we will be preparing it 10. Now for preparing, you need to remember that they have given you depreciation charge. Now since they have already found out in net profit, it means depreciation has already been deducted from asset account. So when you prepare schedule 10, right, when you prepare schedule 10, so what I will be doing, right, basically it is same as group 1 we had done company final account, right? It is same with respect to that, but there are slight changes here and there with respect to format and the content, right? So you have premises less accumulated depreciation. So net you have 155.70. Same with furniture, less accumulated depreciation. Outside we get 70.12. So the total is 225.82. Now they have given us the depreciation charge. On premises it is 1.1. Right? It is in lakhs, na? So they have given 1 lakh 10. So on premises it is 1.1 and it is 0.78. So automatically you get the cost. You get this cost. So 155.7 plus 1.1. So 156.80. 70.12 plus 0.78. Right? We get 70.90. So this is just for presentation. We are grossing it up. Grossing only for presentation. If they would have not prepared this PL, they would have actually reduced it and actually shown in profit and loss account. But since they have already prepared the net profit, it means this part is already done. I need to only do it for the purpose of presentation, just the grossing part. Right? So this is absolutely okay with all of you? Right? We have done it in group 1 company final account, how to gross it up. Okay. Now contingent liabilities, you have two off balance sheet item. We have bill for collection and then advances and endorsement, and then claim against the bank not acknowledge of debt, that is also contingent liability. So you can show this is off balance sheet item. What do you call it as? Off balance sheet item, right? So you have few. One, you have bill for collection, and that is 18.10. Then you have acceptance, endorsement and other obligation, that you have 14.12, right? Other contingencies बोल के you can show. 0.55. So this is the full balance sheet you can see, right? I guess this is absolutely fine with all of you. There should not be any problem, right? So if you practice this, right, company final account, you know how to do, right? In this, the PL has been prepared because they have given you the net profit. So you have to simply prepare the balance sheet. Now in exam, it is not expected that you are going to get a full-fledged problem of PL and balance sheet. That is why we are not going to do that as of now. So till now the chapter is complete, and if you feel like that it is important, we will see the past year revision test paper. And if it looks like that we have to do, then we'll do one combined problem of PL and balance sheet. So basically I have told you what is important in balance sheet point of view. The format is very simple to remember, and then you have, they might ask you to prepare different schedules, that is schedule 3, schedule 9, right? And this is the format. This was the liability. We prepared 5 schedules. So liability, you don't have to do anything, simply credit side of trial balance. With that you can prepare the liability. There was only one twist, that was transfer to statutory reserve 25% mandatorily. Rest things were okay. Now with respect to asset side, you have to maintain CRR. They have told you in problem, and SLR, right? So CRR you have to actually show the movement transfer, and statutory is just to check whether you are maintaining or not, right? And the rest is okay, fine. Then schedule 9 again you have prepared here under 2 concepts, on the basis of nature and on the basis of security. So that's it for today, right? I hope you all have understood how to just do it. I'll just show the liability side once, asset side. This is the liability side, and this is the asset side, right? So do practice this problem at home. Okay, take care, bye bye.